Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome back to another Magic the Gathering Online League. We're back once again with Eldrazi Ramp on the play for Game 1 versus Viking Mike. Hand have been so good if we just had an Eldrazi, not Eldrazi Temple, a Ugin's Lab. We'll mulligan this hand. This hand is... It sounds interesting to me. Like, we could go Misty Rainforest, fetch for Breeding Pool, turn 2 Null Drifter, Evoke. But then where does that really leave me? A turn 3 Mega Spawn, maybe? A turn 3 Mega Spawn maybe gets me into a turn 4 Karn. I mean, it's not bad. I might actually keep this. I think it's, like, in a vacuum, it's not a bad hand. And on the play, it does feel a bit better. At the same time, it doesn't feel great. Could be really made better by, like, a Malevolent Rumble, for example. And this is Rakdos Hollow One, which I think is one of the matchups I feel the least confident in. I'll be honest. But Breeding Pool, tapped, pass, and... Malevolent Rumble. Ooh. Okay, this makes things better. I will evoke. That does make things significantly better. Eldrazi, our Ugin's Lab on top of which. Okay. I'm starting to see a hand come together. I mean, next turn we can Sowing Megaspawn. Unfortunately not kicked. We are getting somewhere. Goblin Lore, yeah. Why do I have priority? What? Hello? Okay, Modo. Modo's a bit confused. Giving me priority for something I really shouldn't have. And thank God they did not have a Hollow One. Another Emrakul makes this interesting. So we'll go Eldrazi Temple here. I am tempted to go Bajuka Bog, I think. The reason for that being is, with that Oliphant, it'd be really easy for them to go Phoenix. So we're gonna have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... 10, 11. We can get to 11 for Emrakul. We're short otherwise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I do think that I want to Bog to just slow things down a bit. So we'll go Bog. Bog target you. And then pass. And then next turn we'll tuck an Emrakul, play Karn. Street Wraith draws a card. They might still be able to get to a Detective's Phoenix. Keep in mind that Flameblade Adept does have Menace. Goyf. Okay, we can shrink that with a Burning Inquiry. Okay. 3 card types in Yard now. We also have a Kozilek's Command available. Okay. We'll take 5 down to 10 as of right now, at least. Do you have a Detective's Phoenix to haste this Nethergoyf? If so, that could be trouble. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I cannot block because that's Menace. Okay. I'm going to Rumble. I'll grab a Forest. So we have 7 card types. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Perfect. Here comes the Emrakul, friends. Emrakul, the Promised End. I want to say that's GG's. I'd be hard-pressed to believe that this isn't. Because if they have one fetch, I can put them to 13. I can put them into a disadvantaged position. Okay, taking the bolt, so I can no longer block the Flameblade Adept. Well, let's see. What can we do here? We have Detective's Phoenix, which I can make work in my favor. I have this Oliphant. So let's see. What do you draw into? A Hollow One on top of which? Jesus. Well, I don't exactly want to give you a hasty Hollow One, do I? I kind of want to fail to find... Actually, I could shock you. That is a genuine thought with this Oliphant. Okay, let's go to main. So Faithless Looting. I'm going to cast that first. So discard two cards after. Here's the Arid Mesa. So this way I can put them down to 13. Let's put the Faithless Looting here. Because we can bestow from hand, right? Collect evidence 6. So we'll do the Faithless Looting in the Oliphant. Now I'll trigger the Adept. Triggers on the stack. Triggers on the stack. Okay. Okay. Yep. We'll play the Arid Mesa. I'll fetch with the Arid Mesa. There is a thought to grabbing this Raucous Theater and just setting up their top deck to be bad, right? Try and make it worse. So we'll go with the Raucous Theater. Trigger on the stack. Let's see what it is. It is a Tarfire. That's going to go into a graveyard, friend. Don't need you dealing me 2 extra damage. We can Detective's Phoenix. Do we want to Detective's Phoenix? Honestly, I'm tempted to shrink this Goyf. So if we Detective's Phoenix, we can cast with Bestow onto the Nethergoyf for red. And then we can actually select any number. So we're going to do all of them. Just to make sure that that actually is working. Hold on, let me just read this. To pay, exile cards a total or greater from your graveyard. Yeah, I can do that. So, exile any number of cards. Did that update? No, it didn't update the Fatal Push. What I was thinking. This should work the way I wanted to. I just wish it would highlight it in green so I knew it was actually clicked. There's the Detective's Phoenix. We'll go to combat now. And we'll attack in a few. I'll go to blocks. Block a few. And... oh, I could have cycled a few, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I probably should have cycled the Hollow One as well. But I don't think I'm all too perturbed by this. If they somehow win out of nowhere, then, like, I can't really say much. Cycle the Hollow One, buffs the Adept. I mean, what's their out here? 2 Burning Inquiries? Ew. That'd be frightening, actually. Street Wraith. Oh, Jesus Christ. There's an ox in there. Did you somehow get it? Yeah, I should have probably cycled that Hollow One on their turn. I think that was a genuine mistake on my part. I swear, if you did genuinely find another Burning Inquiry, I'm going to be so upset. Because I think that is... Oh, thank God. Thank God. Rakdos Hollow One. Alright, well that was a bit more nerve-wracking than I would have liked, seeing that Burning Inquiry. But good win there. Able to sequence that correctly. I do think that Karn is worse in this matchup. Very similar to the energy matchup, so bringing this members, keeping the returns. This hand feels slow. I mean, if we turn to find a temple, then it feels better, but even then it feels a bit meh if they somehow rush out a Hollow One. So I think I mulligan this one. This one's interesting, actually. I'll keep this. Because we're going to go Wooded Foothills. We're going to go Ugin's Lab. I guess we'll tuck the World Breaker. Though, actually, we're going to go Malevolent Rumble. The question is now, do I pitch the World Breaker to Sanctum of Ugin? I'm thinking the Sanctum. Yeah, I think that's the right call. Alright, done. And pass. Yeah, I think with the Arid Mesa, I might have actually wanted to grab a Shockland. That way I could have pitched the Hollow One last game. In retrospect. Wooded Foothills, pass and pause on end step. I doubt that Netherglow stays as a 1-2 this turn, but if it does, I'll kill it next. Faithless Looting, yep, to be expected. I should also be smart about this and also hold up the ability to respond to a Burning Inquiry, so that way I can get Commercial District and not have it dead in hand. I think that would be wise. Alright, do you have a Hollow One? Do you have a... I mean, a Detective's Phoenix would be fine here, because it would actually shrink the Goyf. Excuse me. Yeah, before being able to deal this Goyf, I'm going to need... there's a Hollow One. I'm going to need to be able to... Hello? Moto? Yeah, Moto's acting up something fierce right now, and it's a bit concerning with the Showcase qualifier coming up this weekend. Pause and end step, fetch, and Commercial District. I mean, the Sonic Mega Spawn is nice, but is it going to be too slow? I actually will keep it on top. The main reason being is that it can get us a Bajuka Bog, but we're way behind right now. I'll tuck a World Breaker since we do have a spare now. Rumble. I'm hoping to see maybe Kozilek's return. Yes! Perfect. I do think I need to grab this Stomping Ground just in case they do deal with my spawn. That I'm forced to block with it. Alright, we will pass. That's 5 card types, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're getting close. We just need to survive long enough to be able to cast a 7-mana value spell. Alright, so 5. Yeah, so we have 5, 9, 11. We're going to be so close. The thing is, I do need another land drop so we can play this World Breaker. Either that, or if we do draw into a Null Drifter, there's a potential for that. Yeah, if we find a Null Drifter, actually, you might be able to make that work. Raucous Theater. Top or bottom, friend? So what causes us to lose? Trying to think. I mean, Detective's Phoenix will be pretty bad for us. Puts it on top. Okay. Another Faithless Looting. Not thrilled about that, but at least you don't have the Flame Blade Adept. I do wonder whether or not I should block this token. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wouldn't be enough, so I think I do block here. I just need to survive long enough not to die outright. Another Hollow One. Yeah, good thing we blocked. Boy. We're gonna be down to 10. Shock. Sowing Myco Spawn. So that's 4. This will be 6. Actually. Shoot. So, real question here. Do we Bojuka Bog shrink the Hollow One? Or not Hollow One, the Nethergoyf. Or do we try and go for broke? I think we do Bojuka Bog here. Because especially with that Detective's Phoenix, yeah, we have to Bojuka Bog. There's no question there. Alright, pass. Alright, that at least puts us in a better position. 5, 10. I'll attack with just the Hollow Ones. I will chump this. Down to 6. Lethal on board. Oh my god, saving graces of saving graces. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're not on the Emrakul, but we have enough for the breaker. I say all the time, and I'll repeat it again, folks. It's better to be lucky than to be good. So I will go Kozilek's Return first, World Breaker second, get rid of that Arena of Glory. Don't want anything being hasted out. Let me clear the board. Yes. And pass. And pass. And we got there. Good stuff. I mean, I haven't played against Rakdos Hollow One in a hot minute, but that felt way more manageable than I remember. I will say I think my play patterns have changed a bit with this deck, in addition to the additions of Kozilek's Return, or at least the 3rd edition of Kozilek's Return. Definitely very helpful there. So, solid stuff. Solid match 1. We'll be back for match 2. Alright, and we are back for match 2 on the draw for game 1. Means it's a turn 2 Kozilek's Command X2. We have access to Kozilek's Return, Utopia Sprawl on turn 1. This is looking good. I'll keep it. I think the biggest thing that bricks us here is a Harbinger or Blood Moon, as that will strip the Utopia Sprawl off of the Stomping Grounds. Blood Crypt untapped for Faithless Looting, so this feels like it's going to be Indomitable Creativity. Ooh, Grizzlebrand and a Troxa. Yikes. Interesting. I'm tempted to go Ugin Lab instead, but I think it still might be right. Like, it's so much harder for them to interact with our lands than it would be, let's say, an enchantment, right? So it might just be safer for me to go Eldrazi Templar and Ugin Lab, but then we can't cast this Kozilek's Return is the only problem. I don't think that'll be entirely necessary, however, because I need to get those two cards out of the graveyard ASAP. So, but at the same time, we could play Karn on 2. Yeah, I think Karn on 2 for Tormod's Crypt would be really good. So I think we do this. I say this now, and then my worst fear is going to come to reality, and they're going to interact with this Utopia Sprawl and just brick me. So let's see. Do you have the Goryos? So not creativity, sorry. It's Goryos. I got a bit ahead of myself. So this is 4C Goryos. Yep, there's a Grizzlebrand. So hit me for 7, down to 11. You up to 21. You can activate Goryos 2 times. And the question of the day is, do you win in that moment? I'm not sure how you'd win necessarily. But I mean, you're going to have a lot of cards in hand that you can then pitch. Okay, down to 7. How do you win here? That's the question, right? Solitude, their own Solitude. Solitude, their Goryos. Not Goryos, their own Grizzlebrand. I see. Now, there's nothing grave that I kind of want to get rid of that I think a Tormod's Crypt is in order. They're going to pitch an additional, what, 8 cards as well. Now, I guess a good question would be, I guess it depends on what they put in grave. I need to first see that after cleanup before I make a decision here on whether or not we hold up the command or cast Karn looking for Tormod's Crypt. Alright, yeah, that's a lot of flashback Faithless Lootings I don't really like to see. Well, I will go Lab, Imprint, Karn. I mean, if they Faithless Looting, so be it, right? That's their entire turn. So we'll just hold up the Tormod's Crypt. But if they try and Goryos, we can Crypt here. Tamia resolves, that's fine. Okay. Well, we will play Eldrazi Temple. And we want to go a secondary lock piece, or do we want to go to Stonebrain? So we can go Stonebrain named Goryo's Vengeance. And then if they attempt to cast it, we Tormod's Crypt. That should pretty much block off their entire graveyard plan. So I think going for a Stonebrain is correct here. So we'll go Stonebrain. Cast Stonebrain. Should probably play this Talisman first. I fear that if I attempt to cast it, I'm going to just get absolutely shafted, so we'll just have to set it back a turn. But I should have played the Talisman first. I recognize that now. So we're going to get rid of Goryo's Vengeance. Paying costs. See, I think keeping that in hand would have been smart. Because you would have at least drawn a card for it. And now, I guess you still do because you have another one. Alright, they have Leyline Binding, Psychic Frog, Faithless Looting. Alright, well the hand's still not bad, all things considered. This will be very difficult for them to cast that Atraxa or Grizzlebrand. But they still have Emperor Bones, I do need to note that fact. So that is 3 Goryos out. And the 4th one should be in exile already. Alright, well, we'll pass. And pass. So imagine you play the Froge and the Meticulous Archive. Tamiyo first. Attack. Make a clue. I guess Faithless Looting will Flipper. I'm actually kind of fine not having played the Impulse. I feel like if I did get hit by a counter spell, that would have been a real unfortunate thing. Flip the Tamiyo, yep. It's actually really interesting to see when Tamiyo's triggered because of a comma, right? Draw 2 cards, comma, then discard 2. And because of that comma, Tamiyo does trigger in between. Just an interesting little thing. Alright. So... and the Leyline Binding and the Froge. You'll tick up with Karn on the clue. No clue for you. I'll play the Verdant Catacombs. I will play the Talisman of Impulse and hold up this Kozilek's command. Alright. Leyline Binding, I imagine, going to be on Karn. That is A-okay by me. Tamiyo tick up. We do need to deal with Tamiyo in some way, shape, or form. There's the Froge. And... looks like... are we moving the end step? Yes. Well, I am going to... I actually have a few interesting things I could do. So they have 3 cards. I could get them to pitch 1 off the bat here. It's an interesting thought. I will Verdant Catacombs. Fetch. 4 Forest. Do I get them to pitch more cards, or do I simply just go for the command? If we just go for the command here. I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So going Scry, Exile 2. Done. Bottom, top, draw. And let's return the World Breaker. All right, there's Commercial District. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll get rid of this Leyline Binding for Karn. I will minus Karn. We do need to deal with that Tamiyo. If they do ulti that would be a mild inconvenience. More than a mild inconvenience, honestly. So I think I will grab a Disruptor Flute just in case. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ugh. Yeah, we'll grab a Disruptor Flute. You know what I should have done? I should play this commercial district first, because if there's a land on top, then we could have gone leveler. But I will grab the flute. I missequenced this. I always get a bit too ahead of myself, I fear. Utopia Sprawl is net neutral, so let's actually put that in the graveyard. And I will pass. And keeping this Tamiyo from ulting is important. Leyline Binding. Now here's a funny thing. They could have Leyline Binded the Karn. I'm not sure why they didn't. Now they could have an Emperor Bones, and that would be actually a bit frightening. No Emperor Bones, thank freaking God. Rumble, you say? Huh. I'm not sure if the Sowing Mycospawn is going to do enough. Though actually, correction, Bajuka Bog. So let us go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Trying to think here. I need to deal with their graveyard, right? We need the Bajuka Bog to get rid of the Grizzlebrand. I'm not sure getting rid of a land actually is going to do much here. So I will minus Karn. I need to deal with the Tamiyo for obvious reasons. So let us grab a Cityscape Leveler for next turn. I'm going to simply cast the Sowing Mycospawn for 4. I'm going to grab a Bajuka Bog. I'm going to play a little bit conservative here. Bajuka Bog. Target you. Get rid of your grave. We can then... I could Malevolent Rumble. That's a thing I could do. And hold up the Disruptor Flute specifically for Tamiyo. Malevolent Rumble. Casting. Force. That's fine. Go to your upkeep in that case. Fetch. Resolves. So you need a Leyline Binding here with the flute. Maybe there's a thought to maybe I should have grabbed a Haywire Mite just in case they do try and Leyline Binding the flute. Either that or even a Liquid Metal Coating, which can act as a secondary way to lock it down. There's a thought there. I will cast the flute. Ah, shoot. Yeah, the second force will be an issue. So I'll be able to tick down with Tamiyo. They'll draw 12 cards. I'm not sure how they exactly deal with the Cityscape, I will admit. So it would have mattered if I had grabbed Liquid Metal. I don't know if they had enough mana last turn. No, they did. Maybe? They play on island? They did 1, 2, 3. No, they would have been short 1. So yeah, maybe the Liquid Metal Coating was the right call if we wanted to ensure Tamiyo didn't ult. Yeah. Unfortunate. Though, no, I mean, if that was the case, then they wouldn't have probably forced the first one. Well, no, I guess we'd have had to do it both on my turn. And since Flute has Flash, I think I still would have probably cast it in their upkeep. Though maybe I shouldn't have, knowing that they couldn't force it. That's also a thought. I knew full well they couldn't force it, so why did I do that? Well, let's take up a Karn, first off and foremost. I will say Escape Leveler. Let's get back that World Breaker. Again, a bit of a missequence here. I should have ticked up Karn after casting World Breaker, as then I could get rid of the Power Stone. Not that I think they could use it, but it is something of significance. Yeah, I think my major misplay here, other than the little missed sequences here and there, was definitely not casting the Disruptor Flute on my turn. I always think as Disruptor Flute, well, it has Flash. I should probably play it on my opponent's upkeep in case it gets countered, but knowing that they forced the Malevolent Rumble, I should have Consign. Wild. I should have cast the Flute on my turn. I do find it interesting that they did force the Malevolent Rumble then, right? I think, I don't know, maybe that's why I was convinced that they didn't have another force, because why force the Rumble? Huh. I'll get rid of the Tamiyo. Interesting thoughts. If I really need to, I can always bridge next turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can cast the Troxa, right? Yes, you can cast a Troxa. How many bindings have we seen now? 1, 2. Does make going for bridge a little bit worse, I fear. Well, it is Psychic Frog, okay. And Emperor Bones, okay. So I fear that you're going to pitch with a Psychic Frog. Oh, you're going to grab my Leveler. Yeah, it's even worse, honestly. And attack me for 8, and then hit the Karn. Yeah. Yeah, I really did need to stop that Tamiyo. Huh. Fascinating. Yeah, maybe it was just the fact... No, I think I'm just trying to justify my mistake by not casting Disruptor Flute on my turn. It was a poor decision on my part. Like, yeah, play pattern would suggest I should probably cast it on their upkeep to avoid the counter. But the fact that I saw them force. Now we're in a losing position. Wild. The main board consign also is rough. How can I get out of this unscathed? I'm gonna attack the Sign Mycospawn. I want to see if they'll take some bait. I'm doubtful, but I'm hopeful. Yes, do it. There's a Troxa. Okay. I mean, how much can you pump this? I can deal you total of 7 damage. I mean, they can out pump it. Oh, so unfortunate. Yeah, they'll just out pump it, right? Kozilek's return. Force negation, another one. I mean, makes sense. No, honestly, I think you should have just pitched those 2 cards. The only way I get out of this one is if I had, whatchamacallit, a Null Drifter on top of which. So this is 4C Goryo's Vengeance. And unfortunately, I don't have a 7-mana value spell to follow up, so we'll just concede here. What could I have done differently there? I think a lot. So, Sideboard Guide would suggest we bring in Stonebrain Dismember Leveler. And cut 2 Emrakul's in return. I mean, the main thing I could have done was cast the flute on my turn. On the play for game 2. And this would be a hell of a gamble, right? We'd need a green. It's not a hell of a gamble, but as a gamble, I keep these 1-landers. Should I? Maybe not, but I keep them. Because if we can find a lab, if we can find a forest, or rather an untapped green source, actually untapped land that produces green. Yeah. I mean, if they had a counterspell, it wouldn't have mattered if I cast it on my turn or not. So we should have just played it. We will grab the Shifting Woodland. It's unfortunately a little bit worse than I would like. Pause on end step, I'm thinking. No, I don't think I want to rush it. I could Kozilek's Command and try and dig deep quicker. And I guess I could have gone Bojuka Bog turn 1. That's genuinely an option. No, he wouldn't have drawn it. Never mind. Basically just same problem, different card. And Shifting Woodland's better here. The Bojuka Bog on 2. But maybe not. The Bojuka Bog may have actually been beneficial depending on what they pitched. Shifting Woodland and pass. Yeah, I think in retrospect for game 1, what I should have done is cast the flute on my turn, irregardless of the fact that they could have had a counterspell, because it doesn't matter at that point, right? I think it just got caught in my ways of, oh, well, I should play this on my opponent's upkeep in case they have a counterspell. At least then they waste mana for it, which they did, to be fair. But I needed that Tamiyo to be offline. I'll take the Temple. Play the Temple. Do we play the Talisman of Impulse? Probably not. I think we just hold up Command X1. Yeah. I think it could be argued either way in regards to the Disruptor Flute. I think another thing I could have done instead of grabbing the Leveler would have been to grab the Stonebrain, not Stonebrain, the Liquid Metal Coating. Though they would have just ended up forcing the Liquid Metal Coating, right? So I think it just would have ended up the same way. Yeah, I don't know. As I continue to kind of mull over game one, I'm not sure if there's any like significant changes I could have made. The frog flies. Okay. Yeah, let me know down in the comments. I think I need to take a break on mulling over game one and focus on game two here. But let me know in the comments if there was a line that I should have taken that was different from what I did. And if I should have played the Disruptor Flute on my turn, like Odyssey of Perfect Knowledge, we would have. Or if I was correct in waiting till their upkeep in case it was a consigned to memory. Alright. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can get rid of the Froge. However, but there is a big however but here. They could have a consign, so this Kozilek's command might be a better permission spell for X equals 2. In which, if that's the case, then I think playing this Talisman's correct. Because they're holding up mana for something, right? That much is obvious. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So next turn we do also have this Emrakul. Can take this archive. We should probably wait until after combat to, at least after after attackers have been declared to cast this command for X equals 3. Because that way they can't then pitch the Goryos to then attack in of an Atraxa or Grizzlebrand, right? So we'll ramp and exile. So let's see the Consigner of the Force. Because I imagine you brought in more consigned to memories. Maybe some spell snares. Opponent's thinking. That resolves, that's shocking, honestly. Another Froge. Okay. Intriguing. Well, if we Sowing Megaspawn kicked and it resolves, we would have enough for the Devour afterwards. Let's try it. White, black, blue, and red. White, black, blue, red, yeah. We can get rid of the red source. At least makes Prismatic Ending worse and Leyline Binding worse. Okay, so there's Consigned to Memory. We at least faded that. Imagine you let the body resolve. Okay, let's see what you hit. Okay, yep, body resolves. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we could play Karn here. And we'd still have enough for Emrakul next turn. This also shows if they have a force. Okay, Supreme Verdict. Alright, well, I will pass at this point. No blocks. We'll have the ability to respond. With all that, I am surprised about the Kozilek's command, but I guess they sensed that it was acting as a permission spell. Pitching Leyline Binding, so that way they can float the frog. Yep, they float the frog. I guess the next question is, next turn, do we go Emrakul or Devourer? I mean, I guess if we're trying to play around Consign, the Devourer would be correct. Another Froge. Well, now I'm thinking the Emrakul is correct. 5 card types in Yard. And if they have the Consign, they have the Consign, right? I do not have the Consign. So we'll attack into both frogs and block and block. Pitching at Goryos, that's fine. Draw another Goryos. And I guess we'll just pitch the Goryos. And then to combat, attack and attack. To blockers, block and block. And pass. And pass. Lethal on board, 1 card in hand. Leyline Binding. Yep, that does resolve. So we'll World Breaker the Leyline Binding. So 4, 7, World Breaker, Leyline Binding. Go to combat. Attack. I'm gonna play the Ugin's Lab. Tuck the Devourer and pass. I mean, lethal's definitely on board. Even if they were to again Leyline Binding the Emrakul, we can then take up a card on the Talisman for lethal. Alright. Well, that's one for game 2. And we'll run it back all the same. A single 7-drop would have made this hand so much different. Mulligan. Again, no 7-drop. I mean, I could gamble on the 20% chance of it happening. We have 11 7-mana value spells out of 53, so we have a little bit better than a 20% chance. Or no, a little bit worse than a 20% chance. Yeah, yeah. No, 11 out of 55 would be 1/5. So no, we have a little bit better than a 20% chance. So like I could gamble here. If I was going to gamble, maybe I should have done that last hand then. Okay. There's also an alternative thought process here. I'll keep this. I will dump the breeding pool. So there's an additional thought process here if we're trying to go for, let's say, so in Mega Spawn turn 3. We can also draw into a Eldrazi temple, so this might be fine. Whereas the last one is a little bit more sketchy, but Faithless Looting on 1 is scary against Goryos. Faithless Looting, too good of a card. I mean, not too good to be banned, but it is fantastically good. Alright, no 7-mana value spells, so no high roll for me, but Loaded Foothills. This will allow us to see an additional card if we do go for a commercial district. And we can also hold up this Dismember if we need. There is also a genuine thought that if I can keep this match long, they might just lose the time. We right now have the time advantage, though they're not below 5, so I'm not really angling for that game plan just yet. Godless Shrine, Shock, down to 14. Falagi. And finds not in. Go to end step. Commercial District. Let's see what we can find. We do not want the Catacombs, thank you very much. I honestly don't want the Talisman either, I'll be honest. Well, we will name Eldrazi. Malevolent Rumble. Malevolent Rumble. I'll grab the Devourer. And I will pass holding up the Dismember. Undercity Sewers. There's Altroxa. Do you have the Goryos? No. That's fantastic. Now the question is, do you have the Consign as backup? I will tuck the Devourer. So here's the question, right? They can respond to Bajuka Bog for Goryos. I actually want to read real quick on Scryfall how Goryos reads, actually. Hold up. I need to see something specific. If it says until next end step. Goryos V. Exile at the beginning of next end step. That is so important right now. I cannot express. So, okay, we can do one of two things here. I could still Myco spawn and grab an Eldrazi Temple. That allowed me for a Kozilek's Command X1. The question is whether or not they would then in turn respond with Goryos, and I think they would. So I'm instead going to cast a Talisman of Impulse. And then pass. They would need Goryos and a Force. But I think we're going to play a bit conservative right now. Okay, no Goryos. So we can use this Kozilek's Command as a permission spell then. Oh, interesting. Why did they not... Okay, so the only thing I can assume here is that they have a... consigned to memory in hand. That's the only thing I can assume. Yeah, shoot. So they reveal many a thing. What do you choose, friend? They didn't find an EFEM, which is important here. Can they consign the trigger from Goryos? Is it a trigger? I think it might be. Does that work? Can you consign Goryo's Vengeance's end step trigger? Huh. Guess we'll find out. They're thinking hard on what they're choosing here, and for good reason. Yeah, I knew something was up. They had the Goryos. I guess the reason why they didn't do it last turn is exactly because they had the consign. And I was afraid that if I did cast the Sowing Myco spawn, that they would in turn cast Goryos. I guess they wouldn't cast the Goryos in response. So let's see. Hallowed Fountain, Leyline Binding, Psychic Frog, Consign. You can look at that. Okay. So Hallowed Fountain, Landbind, Psychic Frog, Consign. They use the Consign, so they have those two cards in hand now. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not enough for a bridge or one off. They have binding. How do we do this then? So we can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is mana neutral, but it cost me 1 life. What did I have in graveyard? Nothing that they can Goryos, so Bajuka Bog I don't think is correct here. And we can't cast Devourer currently. So we could go just a Sowing Mycospawn. Not kicked. Otherwise they'll have 1, 2, 3 versus 4. So we can at least reduce the number of types to 3. Which means Leyline Binding will cost 3 mana. No. Yeah, -3. That'll be 3 mana. Yeah. Rather than 4 for 2. Problem is we're going to take 7 damage. And they do have bolts, as we've seen before, though they may have taken those out. We're losing our time advantage by thinking this over too much, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I think I do need to just cast this without kicking. So Sowing Mycospawn. I will grab the Eldrazi Temple. And then on Commercial District for blue. Maybe for black, actually. We have the way to generate blue, red. Yeah, maybe black for Dismember. Funny enough. Okay, like I said, I'm running on my time advantage, so I need to pass. This is going to be tricky, I fear. Attacking for 7 down to 4. Can't do much about that. So Dismember is currently offline unless we untap. Oh boy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we do have enough for bridge. The however, but in that is that they have that Leyline Binding in hand. There's the Froge. Yes. I can't cast Dismember. Null Drifter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what's my out then? We could Null Drifter 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. However, we'd be short for Emrakul. What are my outs? That binding really throws a wrench into things. Not to mention we only have 1 Emrakul, no returns. We can't bridge. Haywire Might won't do enough. Well, let's evoke to at least see our choices, I suppose. Goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're short 1 on Devourer. We really needed that, but even then the frog would float. So we'll go with Null Drifter. Do you have a consign? There's Shifting Woodland. Shifting Woodland is interesting. But they'll just end up Leyline binding it, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh boy. Alright. We'll pass. Let me see if they notice the line that keeps me alive. I don't think it's going to matter, unfortunately. I think the binding kills us regardless. So the frog floats. We'll attack in. We'll Shifting Woodland, targeting the Null Drifter. So green, green. And they just Leyline binding it, right? Not much I can do about that. Yeah, I'm trying to think back to the turn when I could have played the command. No, yeah, there's nothing. Yep, you got it. Yeah, I'm trying to think back to the turn where they had 2 mana up. Right, it was the Steam Vents and I think the Godless Shrine with the Undercity Sewers tapped. We could have played the Sowing Mycospawn, right? And if I had, we could have grabbed Bojuka Bog. But they had Consign in hand, so they would have countered likely the land trigger. Which would have left me with, what, 1 mana in the way of a spawn? The alternative was attempting to Kozilek's command, but they would have countered that too. I don't think there's a way for me to do both. Would there have been a way? I don't think. I'm trying to think of even if I could have gone with like Karn or something. But I think I was out of options. I think they just had me in a bind. And we played around it the best we could. It is what it is. But unfortunate loss for match 2. And we'll move on to match 3. Alright, and we are back for match 3 on the draw for game 1. This hand is keepable. So we go turn 1, Utopia Sprawl on Stomping Grounds. Turn 2, Eldrazi Temple, Impulse, Rumble. And yeah, this looks solid enough. Does rely on us top decking some threats, but I do like it. Pass to my opponent. Fluted Delta, fetch, swamp, Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize. I mean, taking Karn might not be a bad idea. I think taking Rumble would also be a good option. Anything else is kind of mediocre. I think those 2 cards, though, are probably correct. Yeah? What's up? Meep just decided to say hi. Are you hungry? It's only 6:30. Why are you hungry? On blue. I even gave you a snack earlier. What's up? I think she wants more food. I'll have to take a break in between matches and get those to her. So this looks Grixis something. Okay, there's a Froge. Oh, we will go Temple. Hold up. I want green. So now I can go Talisman. And then play Rumble. And 2, 4, 5, 6. Now we could... No, I think we go Soin Myco Spawn. Alright, there's Soin Myco Spawn and pass. How many card types is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 card types in Yard. So we're right now looking at a kicked Myco Spawn next turn, lest they do interact with our board. Alright, what say you, opponent? We'll hold up the ability to spawn in case of, I don't know, Galvanic Discharge, Orcish Bowmaster, excuse me, etc. I think I probably will block here, though, with the spawn. I guess there was also an argument to grabbing World Breaker, but it did heavily rely on the spawn surviving, and they likely would have known that too, so I felt a bit safer with the Soin Myco Spawn. Another Thoughtseize, Fatal Push, in response. Pass. And pass. Yeah. So that's why I was a bit hesitant to take the World Breaker. I thought about it. I was like, well, I'll have 7 mana. Yes, however, but. Are you playing more lands? Or are you land light? Faithless Looting? Okay. Starting to seem like it might be Reanimator. Either that or just Temur Oculus splash red for looting. That's also a real possibility. Does mean they're less likely to play Harbinger, which is good for me. Depending on what they put in Yard, we'll be able to grab a Bojuka Bog, I think. I think regardless, I think we Bojuka Bog, because I'll have 6 cards in Yard, so I want to get rid of the chances of a Abhorrent Oculus next turn, or a Murktide if they play it. Yep. Undercity Sewers, so yeah, we'll get rid of the Steam Vents. That will rob them of a land type. They won't be able to float the frog unless they pitch their hand, so we can then block it, forcing them to pitch their hand. Yeah, overall I feel good here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Close. Very close. I'll grab a basic forest, just in case you do have Harbinger for some reason. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kick the Steam Vents. And we'll grab a Temple. Actually, is there an... Or not Temple, Bojuka Bog. We talked about this. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, Bojuka Bog. I was like, well, we could go to Emrakul. No, Bojuka Bog. Bojuka Bog is correct. And pass. They won't be able to float. They won't be able to cast an Oculus, etc., etc. No Murktide. No graveyard shenanigans here, friend. We can Rumble next turn. There's also a thought of maybe casting Return, so it's in our graveyard. I mean, if they don't attack, it forces them to, at the very least, oh, another Froge. Unearth cycle, okay. Will you attack with Froge? I'll block. I'll snap block it. Okay. Well, in that case, I have a few interesting things I want to do here. Attack with the Soin Microspawn. I want to see if they block. You disappoint me, opponent. I will attempt to resolve. Actually, before I do that, let's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We need 3 new types. I mean, it's possible. It's possible indeed, so we'll go for it. Does Rumble resolve? It does. Another Emrakul, Cavernous Souls, and a Utopia Sprawl. Well, Utopia Sprawl will up the number. Let's grab the Cavernous Souls. We'll play the Cavernous Souls, name Eldrazi. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. One short, unfortunately. I will attempt to resolve Karn the Great Creator. Does Karn resolve? Karn eats a force. That is fine. And I'll pass. Yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have the Emrakul next turn, and it will be uncounterable. So unless you Thoughtseize me here. What we thinking, opponent? I guess what would have been probably safer for this Kozilek's return, honestly, may have been to just hold back the block. I think I got a bit greedy, wanting to attack and force them to block. I mean, this spawn will help, though. Down to 9, okay. I mean, even if you have a consigned to memory... Oh, that's fine. Yeah, go for it. Even if you have a consigned memory to deal with the Emrakul trigger, I don't think you have any meaningful way to deal with the body. So I think we do win regardless. We'll give Flying to Froge, sure. That is fine. Okay, so maybe it's good that I attacked. I do think it was probably correct, without perfect knowledge, that I probably just kept back for blockers and held up the Kozilek's return. Talisman of Curiosity, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Well, I will cast the Emrakul. I'm not going to risk this cast over something silly. So this is Grixis Oculus. Alright, friend, what say you? Uncountable 13/13 flying trample protection from instants, and I also get to control your turn. Fun, right? And we got there. Perfect. Win for game 1. And a sideboard. We'll bring in 2 Dismembers, cut 2 Karn, bring in a Leveler in place of an Emrakul, and pass. Or submit the deck. Imagine they bring in more consigns, though I don't think I have to worry about Harbingers here. I mean, maybe they might still be running them in the side. They might not care as much to break themselves out of red sources. Maybe. Like, I guess if Faithless Looting is the only red spell they're looking to cast, they probably won't care. They'll probably just cut the Faithless Lootings in place of the Harbingers, as well as additional sideboard tech like Consign. So that's probably what we see. So let's not assume that they don't have the Harbinger. It's probably best to assume that they do until proven otherwise. Opponent's thinking, though. I mean, I think the sideboard plan here is pretty straightforward, right? I guess with access to the red, there is a strange world where could they have Obsidian Charmal? I think, unlike Harbinger, where I should assume that is a thing until we see it, until proven otherwise, I think we should assume that they don't have Obsidian Charmal. But I will say having the red does mean they could play it. I mean, yeah, they could. It'd be kind of it'd be a bit awkward, right? They can't unearth it. You need double red, and I think that's going to be hard enough in this deck. Why else play the red? Maybe Expressive Iteration? Maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure if the red splash is worth it, to be honest. I'm not confident that it is. Opponent's still sideboarding though. Wonder if they'll... Okay, they are. They're finished now. On the draw for game 2. Yeah, this is keepable. Reveal Devourer. See what you find. A Malevolent Rumble would be fantastic. I'll keep. Not consign to memory. Kozilek's Command would be great. So we have some good choices here. Okay, what we find. There's the Malevolent Rumble. Okay. In that case, I'll take the Rumble, and I'll play the Wooded Foothills Pass. We'll be able to hold up to Dismember, and potentially grab a Commercial District to dig a bit deeper. Alright. There is a world where they do turn to unearth a Harbinger, so we should, in fact, hold the ability to respond. Thoughtseize? Break Dice? Dothy. Yeah, about that. Methinks I Dismember you. Now we could do that next turn. Yeah, we can still do that next turn. In response, though. So you don't have a fetch, I suppose. Or whatever I have on top, for that matter. Commercial District. I do like my temples. Temple. And... my turn. Draw the temple. Play the lab. Tuck the Devourer. Will Malevolent Pause. Dismember. Malevolent Rumble. That was almost very awkward. And pass. Hold up the ability to respond. Next turn we'll kick a Myco Spawn. That was almost very concerning. I do wonder, actually, in retrospect, if we should have kept the Talisman of Curiosity. And the reason being is that if they do play a turn 3 Harbinger of the Seas, I won't have a green source. Thank God that didn't happen, though. I'm still a little bit concerned about that, though. And if they have a consign, that could be a very real possibility. So I wonder if we hold up this Kozilek's Command instead. That might be correct. Yes, we'll use the Kozilek's Command as a permission spell for either the Myco Spawn or the World Breaker, respectively. I think that is the correct play here. I'll go for probably another City Sewers or maybe a red Surveil land. Watery Graves. Shocking for what? For nothing. Me confused. Okay. Yeah. Bit of misplay on my opponent's side, I imagine. Maybe a misclick. It's also possible that maybe they didn't have a stop on end step. Shocking is Steam Vents. Okay. 4. Thoughtseize. Unearth. X2. Well, yes, X2. Oh, target creature. Hold up. Graveyard. 1, 1, 2. Done. I guess we could also just do it for 1. Yeah, I'll just do it for 1. Hell. 1, 2. 1, 1. No. 1. Yes. Done. And do it this way. Does that resolve? I fear for a Thoughtseize in hand, I'll be real. So if they counterspell this, at least... Oh, actually, they still would be able to. But at least Dothi doesn't have haste, so... Good news there, I suppose. Because we will grab back this Devour if needed. Because it'll be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we can exile the Dothi in case they do Thoughtseize the World Breaker. I think that would be the most concerning line they would have. But we're using this as a permission spell as we intended. They aren't paying costs, so counterspell. Force negation. Hey, love to see that. Alright, yeah, you got it. This is turn 4. They've already played their land for turn. I passed when I didn't mean to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, World Breaker. That was an unfortunate misplay. I wanted to exile the Dothi. Get rid of the red. And also, at least this way, if you do Thoughtseize me, then you're not getting Breaker. Lycospawn, sure. I don't know if you can kick a card cast for free. And if you do you have to pay for the kicking cost? I don't know. It's an additional cost, right? So I feel like you would have to pay the kicker cost, which they clearly cannot do. So at most they'd be able to grab a Sowing Mycospawn and yeah. I think cast it, grab a land, that's it. Yeah, what I wanted to do actually was bring the Devour back to hand and then exile the Dothi. So we did mess up just a wee bit. Okay. I need to stop pressing 6 when I still have abilities to do. It's such a bad habit of mine. Like, oh, that passes. I don't have anything of relevance I need to do right now. And if I do, I'll let you know. Because that's what you do in Magic. But not on MTGO. Because the shortcuts are literal. You're pressing the button and going, I waive my right to do anything. Eldrazi Temple. Go to combat. Attack. Shoot the sheriff. No, shoot the sheriff. I will... 2... And I guess 1. Get rid of that red source again. No one wants that red source around. If this does resolve in full, we'll grab a Bajuka Bog. No Oculi allowed either. I guess you could consign to memory the triggered ability. That is a genuine thing you could do. Now, do I think it would have been just right to counter the Sorin Megaspawn trigger? Yes, but if you really were pressed since you didn't, you could consign to memory this trigger instead. It'd be fascinating if you did. Not gonna lie. Okay, it all resolves. Well, lethal isn't on board yet. We have 8 damage on board. Dothy's here. I guess they could grab back a Dismember, but that would put them into lethal range. Bloodstained Mire, you want to crack that? Do it. Yes. Okay, lethal's now on board, and we do have this Devourer available. Stevens, shocking. What? Okay. More confusion. Faithless Looting. Okay. So there'll be 4 types, or 4 cards in yard. I guess you would be able to cast a Murktide. That is a thing you would be able to do at this point. Oculus is still out, but Murktide is in, unless you are going to unearth something. Because you could unearth an Oculus. That is an option. And yeah, maybe in retrospect, exiling the Dothy just maybe wasn't the best move. So maybe my mistake wouldn't have been a bad thing. Because right now I'm not exactly too worried about if they were to Thought Seize something out of my hand. I think I was more worried if they did that with World Breaker still on board. Oh, I'll hold the ability to respond still. I was going to say you can't attack, but you are. And that perplexes me. What are you doing? What's the thought process here? Do you got a Murktide? That's the only explanation I have. Tamio. Okay. Return Devourer to hand? Question mark. We have... Okay. Opponent concedes. I think they didn't think about the Devourer. Alright, clean to a win for match 3. On to match 4. Alright, and we are back for match 4 on the draw for game 1. Yeah, we can keep this hand. This hand looks fantastic. I will keep. I will pass. Steam Vent Shock, so looking like it might be Grinding Station. Malevolent Rumble, you say? Well, we can Kozilek's Command into Soil Megaspawn Kick, so I think that's fine. Let's play the Ugin Lab. Tuck the Emrakul and pass. Hold up the ability to respond with command if needed. Or to return Emrakul to hand. Saga, yep. Looking more and more like it is in fact Grinding Station. So we really could use a Karn here. Emery, okay. And there are some opals. Kozilek's return. That's interesting. That would get rid of Emery for what it's worth. Alternatively, I can ramp as well as get rid of whatever Emery was going to select. Yeah, I think we do it that way. So we'll play the temple, hold up the command again. There's the saga trigger. You have a land. In response, ramp and exile 2. Done. Done. Pass. I guess once again I should hold up the ability to respond. No legal targets for Emery. There is the third land, so you do have access to a saga token. I think we do Rumble here next turn. Probably Stomping Ground, Shock, Rumble. Well, doing that means we can't play the Myco Spawn. Huh. And I guess we could Myco Spawn. Okay, so I have a thought. Forest. Kick the Myco Spawn. Let's get rid of that saga. We'll make the construct token, right? Yep, makes sense to me. That thing will get pretty beefy pretty quickly, too. Yes, that resolves. I will grab a forest. Actually, we can grab a shifting woodland. That is relevant. I will Malevolent Rumble. I'll grab a Karn the Great Creator. And I will pass. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're short on the Emrakul. But we do have Karn. Another Emery. We do see nothing. That's fantastic. Love that. Preordain. Another saga, eh? Yeah, the thing is they'll attack with Tamiyo and the construct. The construct will grow to a 4/4. Thinking. My life's a resource, I should use it. So I will say no to that block. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Maybe I should have, actually, because then it would have put additional typing yard. Maybe that would have been the thought. Thinking. So we can play Karn, right? And then we can EE for 0 and hold up EE. But am I really in need of an EE, or do we need Crypt to ensure that they don't win? Do we have enough mana for both Karn and a Stone Brain? No. So So Windswept Teeth fetch. We'll block the Mega Spawn next turn. Forest. So let me confirm. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Karn the Great Creator. I think at this point we really just need to win. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? 7, or 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we have a Tormod's Crypt. It will not actually add to that, but Karn Dine would. So I will grab the Tormod's Crypt to play it safe. And we will hold. This way we play around on Holy Heat. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes. Go to combat. Attack Karn. You'll buff the construct. And we will block the construct. Nice thing is about taking control of their turn of the Saga on 2 is that I can fail to find. Commercial District. Trigger resolves. Grinding Station, they can Emery in response. Target you. No Grinding Station for you, friend. End step. Return Emrakul to hand. Emrakul to hand. And draw. Another Emrakul, eh? So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I will minus Karn. At this point, we really are just trying to make sure that they don't win. Yes. Chalice of the Void on 0. Cast Chalice of the Void. And then I will cast Emrakul, the Promised End. You'll make a construct token. And I'll put the Stomping Grounds in tapped. Pass to you. Tamiyo, Rumble. So let's go another Rumble, Jesus. To Saga. Saga on the stack. I'll make a mana. Okay. Take a look. Pithy Needle, I can actually name their grinding station. So Pithy Needle, naming grinding station. So now grinding station's offline. I can Malevolent Rumble twice if I really wanted to, and choose nothing. Is that beneficial though? Maybe. Otherwise I can just play 2 Tamios. At the very least, we go to combat and attack. F1. Go to blocks. Should be Rumble here. It means that they don't get to choose what they select, right? So we will Rumble. Misty Rainforest. I guess I can fail to find here with the Misty Rainforest. Actually, maybe we grab the Haywire Mite. Grab the Haywire Mite. Maybe it doesn't do much here in all reality. I was trying to think if we... Can I exile itself? No, because non-creature, right? Yeah. So maybe go Misty Rainforest. Play the Misty Rainforest. Fetch with the Misty Rainforest. I can... Yeah, we'll fail to find here. I was thinking if you have another Surveil land, I might not. We'll fail to find. And then I will Rumble again. And we will grab nothing. We'll pop the Eldrazi spawn and then pass. Okay. So Grinding Station's offline. Thassa's Oracle is in graveyard. They can't play 0 mana value spells with Chalice on board. They have 2 lands they can grab. Island. They have 2 Tamios in hand right now, and that is it. They could get rid of the Chalice with the Haywire Mite in the yard, but that's fine. We now have lethal on board because they did fetch. I do need to note that. Though I guess they do have the Tameo to block for 2. They can't kill Karn. Not without attacking with both the Emery and the Construct. Which means then they can't get rid of the Chalice. So does the Construct matter? They're going to replace the Tameo with another Tameo. I mean, keeping the Construct on board's not beneficial. So, Construct down. Maybe there's benefit to grabbing Emery. Crack a clue, draw a card. You need to play a Tameo or you lose. Tameo flips, sure. I guess you can now uptick. Devourer of Destiny. Well, I'll start off by taking a look at my yard. And I think they made a slight error. Select Mycospawn. And go to attacks. Attack all at you. Trigger, trigger. And to damage. All right, and we got there. So this did look like traditional just Temur grinding station and not 4C, which is definitely much more difficult of a matchup. I wouldn't say much more, but is more difficult of a matchup at the very least. Sideboard-wise, we then can go up 2 Stone Brain, 1 Haywire Might, cutting the return, and also 1 Emrakul for a leveler. Alright, and we'll run it back. This hand kind of does nothing until it does something. I don't think that's good enough. So mulligan. Still a bit rough. I mean, this is a turn 3 Stone Brain. It pushes them onto... Yeah, we'll keep it. It's a turn 2 Stone Brain. Pushes them onto the mid-range game plan if they don't kill us by that point, right? So we go Shifting Woodland, Cavern of Souls, play the Stone Brain, unless we draw into another card, in which case maybe we'll play the Talisman first. Okay, well we did. In that case, we'll go Shifting Woodland, tapped, and pass. Misty Rainforest for a commercial district. Trigger resolves, obviously. And Tamiyo into grave. Pass. Misty. Fetch. Shock into Steam Vents. Yep. Malevolent Rumble. Yes. No Consign, no Flood Maul, so you'll choose a Breach. Okay. Well, that's a bit sketchy. Because we want to get rid of Breach, right? Well, I think we will play the Eldrazi Temple, and then we will pass. I think that is what we need to do. Depending on what they have in hand, we might be able to interact with this Kozilek's command. The other thought was maybe a Bojuka Bog, but I think it was correct to do this instead. Malevolent Rumble. Into the Flood Maul, there's Grinding Station, there's Opal. Now the good news is, in response to Breach, we can grab Opal, but right now Opal's not exactly a big issue, right? So I think they grab Emery. But I don't think they can play Emery either. 1, 2, then we can make 3, 4, get rid of Breach. So they choose Grinding Station. I mean, they can play Grinding Station right now. They also haven't played a land. I do need to note that fact. Okay. For a Grinding Station. That will resolve. Do you have a land? You do not. Okay. Kozilek's command. X equals 1. I'm actually tempted to get rid of this opal, actually. Hold up, I think that might be correct. So we'll still ramp, but also get rid of this opal. No, actually, no, the Malevolent Rumbles are just as bad, right? Okay, so yeah, let's scry draw. Scry draw first. Yeah, these Rumbles are just as bad as that. There we go. Scry draw. Forest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bottom. Karn, you say? Well. Yes. Karn is good. Cavernous Souls. Name Eldrazi. Karn the Great Creator? Minus Karn. Tormod Script? Tormod Script. And pass. Alright, well, we're in a good spot now. Even with that Underworld Breach staring down at us. Unholy could kill Karn, but they would need to be able to cast 2, which will take up their entire turn. Grinding Station's offline until Karn's online. He had 1 more mana to go off last turn through a cause command. RIP. RIP. I was a bit afraid of that. Not gonna lie. Oh, that's rough. Alright, friend. I'm trying to think, how would they been able to do so? Face Karn a few matches in a row. You can thank me for Karn being in Eldrazi ramp. Alright, they'll play the Breach. We'll exile the Grave. So that's Breach out of hand, Grave gone. At this point we just pass. So at this point we minus Karn. I mean, so we can Stone Brain. Okay, so a few things. I'm going to assume that they brought in Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, right? So I think we just Stone Brain out the Breach at this point. If we do that, I think we just win on the mid-range game plan. So Stonebrain, we can take a look at what you brought in. That's in your hand as well. So Underworld Breach. 2 breaches in hand. Amber and Opal. Okay, so they did just need 1 more mana. Let's see here. They brought in Grape Shot as the secondary win con. Okay. So that's no longer going to be an option. Alright, the other one. Actually, do they have any more? No, just 3. Okay. Exile those 3. They'll draw 2 fresh cards. I mean, at this point, they can't win. So let's just go Chalice on 0 to rob them of mana. So no Moxes. And pass. We'll start stripping lands next turn through Myco Spawn. They hit... Actually, they have a few things. So they could go Tamiyo. So we know 3 out of their 4. Looks like my opponent's also going to an RC. We're trying to figure out. They're going to Prague. Goes well for you? You too. Oh, they're nice. I like them. They are debating between Breach and whatchamacallit. Well, that's awesome. That's actually really awesome. Good luck next match. I appreciate you. Apparently their last opponent, which was also apparently a Karn Eldrazi ramp deck, mentioned that they should look me up. It's wild. I've talked about it before, and I'll talk about it again now. It's wild to me how much like my name is kind of spread around in regards to Eldrazi ramp and how quickly it did, because I popularized the list. Like, obviously, before we started on Gruul, we were really heavy into Worldbreaker. We're kind of moving back into that territory, of course, by cutting Devourers. And then slowly but surely, we just kind of went to Temur Eldrazi ramp minus Stirrings plus Karn, which was funny. Like, it just ended up being like, oh yeah, Null Drifter's good. Who would have thought? Thought-Knot Seer was not performing well. The data showed that time and time again, so Thought-Knot Seer needed to go. It's just wild how quickly things have grown between the YouTube, between my Discord server, everything. So it's really awesome. It's honestly really I'm really honored to be the Eldrazi ramp person. Goburn has also been really awesome in championing this deck as well and bringing more and more eyes to it with their challenge performances. And even I think they performed well in the Super Qualifier yesterday too. So props to Goburn for that. They took inspiration from my list. They adapted it a bit. They're continuing to adapt it. We've been working together to try and make this list as good as possible and for the upcoming RCs. So I'm looking forward to Eldrazi Ramp hopefully winning one of the RCs. And if it does, even if it's not me, I'll take pride in that fact since we put so much work into tuning this list. But that said, we'll be back for match 5. All right, and we are back for match 5 on the play for game 1. Let's take a look at our opening hand. A green source would have made this so much better. I guess a forest more accurately. Or another soul land, specifically I guess a temple. We'll mulligan this. Ooh, that's so much worse. Alright, we'll keep this one. So, Temple, Windswept Teeth, Rumble. Ideally into Mycospawn. So we drop what? Impulse, and then we do Command Return. If it's energy, I'm going to be wishing for that return, but I think in every other instance, the command will be good. So, let's do it this way. We will play Windswept Teeth and pass. And put a pause on end step so we can fetch for a commercial district. Mox Opal. So this might be Grinding Station again. Bauble. No, it's Artifact Affinity. Emery. Okay. Alright, it's Affinity. So you know what that means. We need to find a Karn. Let's go commercial district. And breaker. I mean, I would love to keep that as the problem, right? Was it good enough right now? Because we can go Temple, Rumble. Actually, no, Breaker is good here. And the reason being is that it allows us to look for both either Ugin's Lab or Eldrazi Temple from Soin Myco Spawn. So we'll go Eldrazi Temple. Rumble. There is the Temple. An Emrakul Engrave is intriguing, though. I'll pass and hold out the ability to respond. Because there is a thought to grabbing Shifting Woodland. Though we would need another green source, so maybe not. Maybe just go Temple so we can then Breaker. So we'll have 2, 4, 5, 7, enough for Breaker. So yeah, that might be the thought. Hold up the ability to spawn in case we need to sack the spawn. We can get rid of the land. Yep, Emery finds Baubles. They'll have 2 mana here, at the very least. Saga. Well, now I might get rid of the Saga, because those constructs will be a bit of a nuisance otherwise. But we do have this command, so I'm not as concerned. But I do think we get rid of it regardless. Thoughtcast. Yeah, you keep the good times flowing, friend. I just see the Frogmite Enforcers, the Mirror Enforcers, and the works. They can't Kappa yet. Shadow Spear, yep. Well, there's going to be not many ways for me to get rid of Metalcraft. I doubt they crack the Bauble anytime soon. I guess they could crack my upkeep. Nope, another Kozilek's command, okay. Well, I will in fact kick the Myco spawn. I will get rid of the Saga. And we will grab a... Yeah, I'll grab a Temple. And then we'll hold up the ability to respond with the Temple into command. It could cycle it, could get rid of a token. So there are things we can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're 1 short on Kappa. Is there a world where I might want to instead Kozilek's command X equals what? 5? For a Karn? Maybe. I'm trying to think. Oh, they do have enough for Kappa because they can, yeah, Emery the Mishra's Bauble. So now they have enough for Kappa. Boots. They still have enough for Kappa. Thankfully they can't haste it, but they have enough. 1 more. Yep, there's the Kappa. They're gonna have boots attached to it, Shadow Spear attached to it. We can't deal with it's the problem. So how do we want to process this? We need, what, 11 mana, 13 mana to deal with the Kappa. You can attach boots to it now. Shoot. Yeah, that's a 7/6 haste ward 5. Yikes. That's a yikes right there. Down to 12. Breeding pool. Well, I can World Breaker. I think I get rid of the Shadow Spear. It does get rid of Trample here, but they might just have I mean, they're going to be able to give it unblockable regardless is the problem, right? Because they'll just bring back the opal. Yeah. So it doesn't even matter if I attack. I mean, I guess they could haste something else, so I'll just pass. At least it doesn't have trample lifelink, for what it's worth. Another one? Shoot. And then you're going to attach boots to it? So that's lethal, right? Yeah, shoot. I guess I didn't really think about that potential outcome. I should have. If I would have taken boots, I'd still be alive a turn. And we would go 2, 4, 5, 6 deep. Yeah, I should have taken the boots. I was thinking more about the trample, not thinking about the prospect of them being able to haste in another Kappa. That's on me. So that was a misplay. So we would be able to look, what, 4, 6, 7. Oh, I don't want to reveal my hand. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4 types in yard. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, sorry, we would have had 7. 7, 11. We would have been short. No, it would have been 6. So we would have had just enough for the Emrakul. Would that have saved me is a good question. I would have taken at least 8 damage. He would have still been alive. But it wouldn't have taken them much to make the other one unblockable. So I'm not sure if Emrakul alone would have been enough, unfortunately. Alright, well, this looks like Azorius Affinity. Lost for game 1. I seemingly struggle with Affinity, and I'm not sure what to make of that. Their big threats, of course, are Kappa Cannoneer. I'm sure they probably play Thought Monitor. They obviously have Urza Saga, etc., right? Are these returns worth it? At the very least, you bring in the Leveler. Car needs to stay. Are these returns worth it? What would we even bring in? Stonebrain and Haywire Might? Maybe. Yeah, let's do that. Like I said, I'm not sure these are worth it. So, Haywire Might, Stonebrain, and send it. On the play for game 2, I can keep this. So Rumble on 2, Wooded Foothills Pass, and then a pause on end step. Coast, Opal, Bauble, Tamiyo. There's a thought to actually exiling a Tamiyo next turn instead of Rumble. That way Opal's still offline. Commercial District. Breeding Pool to the Grave. Draw. Temple. Kozak's Command X1. Done. Okay. I mean, if they don't have another artifact, they're stuck on 1 land and 1 short of Metalcraft. Another Tamiyo. Alright, they have another land. That seems to be it. Another temple. Okay. What can we hit here? Well, I think we go temple. We rumble. So we rumble. We'll have 1, 5, 8. Is there a world where three card, no, let's just say 3 card types. We get it up to 6. Let's say 4 card types. So 7, we'd be 1 short, right? Because we'd have 5, so we'd be at 12. Okay. So in that case, we'll go temple, talisman. And then attempt to cast rumble. Does rumble resolve? Well, he found soy Mycospawn. And pass. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Huh. We could go Sanctum of Ugin to find Emrakul next turn. That is a thought. That is a genuine thought. You'd still be able to exile land and or an opal. Probably better to exile land, honestly. Could actually get rid of that Darksteel Citadel. Thought cast. Tameo flips. Take up the Tameo. End. Another Mycospawn. I will kick Mycospawn. Get rid of the Darksteel Citadel. I do fear that they're going to try and grab back the Thought Cast, so I'm going to Bajuka Bog here. Might be a bit aggressive, but I think it's correct. And pass. Dispatch. Huh. Yeah, that sure is a card. I guess you could grab back Dispatch. Though it being an instance actually a detriment, funny enough. Saga, we will absolutely get rid of that. Take up. We do need to deal this Tameo, though, I will admit. Karn. Play Sanctum of Ugin. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get rid of the Saga. And I'm gonna grab a Ugin Lab. Imprint the Worldbreaker. Paying cost. What are we doing? Metabolic Rebuke? Metallic Rebuke, not metabolic. Yeah, I'm thinking Metallic Rebuke. Nope, just drawing a clue. Okay. That's fine. Well. Leave up a green source. Hold up. Karn the Great Creator? Mishra's Bauble, target me. Minus of Karn. And we could go EEX1 to actually just destroy the Tamiyo, couldn't we? That's a thought. That's a genuine thought. Otherwise, we can Disruptor Flute Tamiyo. We could also Liquid Metal Coating Tamiyo. So, like, multiple thoughts here. I'm kind of partial to Liquid Metal Coating here. I need to specifically deal with Karn. I don't think they have a good way of doing so right now, at least. Liquid Metal Coating Tamiyo. And hold the ability to respond. You mean draw no cards, friend? That just is not happening. And we got there. Good stuff. All right, on to game 3. Run it back just the same. On the draw for game 3, we can keep this hand. It would be lovely if you drew into a 7-mana value spell, I will admit. And pass. Sporadic Springs, Bolting, Opal, Boots, pass. 7-mana value spell, go. Utopia Sprawl. For blue. Opponent's thinking. They don't have enough for a Metallic Rebuke. So I'm not sure what they're thinking about. Resolves, blue, pass. We'll be able to hold up a Command X2 at worst next turn. Seacrum Coast. And passing. Oof. 7-mana value spell. Go. I mean, I'll take another temple for what it's worth. Thoughts about playing an Impulse here. I think we just hold. Hold with the command in hand. We can use it as a permission spell. See if they'll bite. Casting. Thoughtcast. Resolves. Pause on end step. Shifting Woodland and a Myco Spawn. Well, we'll go bottom, top. And an Emrakul to boot. 2, 4, 6. So we can go both Myco Spawn, kicked, and Karn. We'll get rid of a Seacrum Coast. Yeah, this was a very slow hand for them. I wonder if they were gambling on drawing into something. Emrakul. I mean, I understand. I do that too, so. Karn. Force. Yep. Pass. And pass. Well, we tried. Let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Tammy's dealing damage, or what is this? What's going on? I don't understand. I've never seen this before. Yeah, we take 1. Raise a Verge Bridge. Another Kozilek's command. That is nice. I will play the Talisman of Impulse. And we'll go to combat. I think I might go Kozilek's command here. I mean, if they have a force, right, then that's the last card in their hand. Ward 1, so we need to hold 1 mana up. So we'll go ramp 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No. We'll go Scry Exile. Remember, Ward 1. So let's go 2. And this will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, yes. And 2. Yes. Pay the ward. Yes. Does this resolve? Force. Consign. I'm okay with this. And pass. All right, they'll go to attacks. Emery. Opal, Force, Rebuke, and Opal. Okay. Opponent's thinking. Draws a card. You need a consign is what you need. Catacombs, correct. Up to 3. Commercial district. I'll top that command. That's fantastic. Return the hand. And drawn to the command. Play an Ugin Lab. No. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have it exactly. They do have enough mana for Rebuke, I will note. Not thrilled about that. Well, we'll send it. Let this resolve. Uh-oh. Dispatch. Yeah, that's fine. You can dispatch my Soin Microspawn. I'm okay with this. Alright, you have more cards in hand and a Saga. Well, I'm not playing that. I might play this Emery though. I mean, is it beneficial to do so? Maybe. Yeah, we'll play the Emery. Why not? Play Emery. Choose this Emery. Trigger on the stack. Resolve. Thought cast cranial plating. That's a thing. We'll draw a card so you don't have the. No. In that case, we can go to combat. I guess I should have unequipped that first, because we can get rid of the Emery, which I think is more important here. So attack with the Emery. Block. Maybe I should crack the clue. So that way they can't crack 2. Yeah, that doesn't flip. Kappa Cannoneer, well that's rude. Choose target creature. Wish I could target myself. That would make life 1,000 times more easy. Okay, well they do have enough, right? Or at least after they attack, they will. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're 1 short. I guess no, they have the Saga. They won't be able to haste it though, is the thing. There's the Saga. And here comes Kappa. I guess, no, they still won't be able to haste it, at least not this turn. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, Kappa. Trigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sure. I guess the grow the Kappa. Block. I'm just trying to go for a 1-turn kill, basically. 2 Kozilek's Command. Well, let's go for it. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh. No, we're too short. Damn. We are too short. So we want to keep up a green source. X equals 7. Let's see here. Bottom, 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 bottom. 3, 4, 11. Unfortunate. I will grab it on top still regardless. And we will attack with the Emrakul. Alright. So yeah, 3, 10, 11. Okay. Well, if need be, I can always take control of their turn again next turn. Otherwise, I'm not sure they can actually win here. I think it'll be close, though. You have blockers for days, so even if they were to create a construct and haste it in, they would also need a Shadow Spear. But even then, we can deal with that. So Kappa goes to 7. Tamiyo, not really doing much. Lava Spur boots on the Tamiyo. Why? Give me one moment, be right back. Alright, and we're back. Yes, this is fine. I'm a bit confused why, though. This will be 8, 9, 10. Right? 10 damage down to 7. Opponent is moving phases. I'm trying to think here. I mean, beginning of combat, I guess I could just exile the Tamiyo. There's no real reason for me not to. Then ward 1. I'll pay for the ward. Yes. So what was the angle here? They'll make a construct, sure. Oh, they'll draw a card? Okay. Okay. That won't flip Tamiyo, though. Alright, cool. I was just very confused to what their angle was. But we ended up getting there at the end, so can't complain. With that being said, that there will end today's league with a 4-1 record. Unfortunately, a loss to 4C Goryo's Vengeance. That match was very, very close. With that said, though, as always, if you guys did enjoy today's video, please do consider hitting that like button. If you guys haven't already, and you are interested in doing so, comment down below. Especially if you saw any misplays I made, any lines that I missed, or just some general feedback, it is always welcome. Last but not least, if you are not already, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. It does help out the channel a ton, especially as we're getting closer and closer to our 500 subscriber goal, where I'll be able to start monetizing our videos and saving up towards a streaming PC. With that being said, folks, thank you all for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye!